All right. So hey guys, this is kind of just our problem solving workshop. So basically, this is going to teach you guys how to like deal with problems, how to effectively deal with them, what not to do, and what to do. So. All right, so we're going to start off with a little icebreaker. So I'm going to explain this and then I'm going to send a link and we're going to split you guys into two groups. So basically, imagine you're like you're taken to a stranded island with a few other people. And then all you have right now is like what's on you. So you have your like clothes, like whatever you're wearing. Basically, that's it. So basically, you're not sure when you're going to come back, who's looking for you. You could be stuck forever. You could maybe escape, and basically, what you're trying to do is pick 5 items as a team and see what, like, to help you live like the longest or escape or whatever. So you kind of have to work together and solve a problem and think what 5 items would help you the most. So I'm gonna go ahead and split you guys off. So let me count how many people we have really quickly. Okay, so let me send the link first really quickly. But can Shara, Aparna, Arushi, Dia, and Ronak join that one, and then the rest of you guys can stay in this one.
And Shreya, Meghana, Nicole, and Kirti. Can you guys go to the other link? We'll just wait for them to leave. So it's less people. How are you guys doing? Are you guys enjoying it so far?
Yeah.
I think Scribblio was really fun.
That was pretty fun.
It was, yeah. We were originally going to do charades, but then that's hard to do virtually.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that was fun.
Okay, cool. So did he explain the icebreaker? I'm sorry, I was focused on...
Yeah, we basically just have to pick like 5 things that we would take with us.
Okay, perfect. So you guys can, if you guys want to turn your cameras on so we can see each other, it's a lot less people now, so hopefully you'll feel comfortable doing that. But yeah, you guys basically, I'll give you 4 or 5 minutes-ish to talk amongst each other to see which 5 items you can pick. Right now, all you have are your clothes. So, and you can pick 5, like any 5 items that you want, okay? I'm just gonna stay with that. But use your imagination. It does have to be items that currently exist, but any 5 items that currently exist, okay? So you guys can go ahead and get started. Does anybody want to kind of start our discussion?
Yeah, I guess, first would be water, right? So maybe like a filtration, like a small, like those filtration tubes, like those straw things. I guess that could be useful. Water.
Probably something to make a shelter, so like some kind of material like a tarp or a tent to like shelter if it rains or anything.
What type of shelter though? Because I don't think there's like, what are you
like a tent or something.
A tent? Okay. Does anyone else have any ideas? Vedant?
Get lots of rope because you can make stuff with it and you can pull stuff down like the trees around you.
Yeah, I was about to say rope.
Rope?
Maybe like some sort of like machete or something. I don't know. That could be useful for getting food or, maybe to actually build the shelter. If you need something, you could use that too.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I'd say a fishing rod because if you're on an island.
Yeah, it's really all you need, I think, because
you need like matchsticks and stuff.
Yeah.
Yasha, do you have anything?
Well, I was gonna say like matchsticks as well because we would need fire if it gets like really cold.
Ooh, yeah. That's good. Fire is very important.
You would also need that to actually cook the fish because you don't want to get like salmonella or something. That would be good.
Okay, so what are our final 5 items? Anyone want to list them out?
Because we said like 6 items, so you have to pick
Yeah.
5 items. If Sahil or sorry, Dia, do you want to say anything? Do you want to add? Do you know which 5 you would pick?
Probably like matchsticks and like
Matchsticks. Okay, that's 1.
I think the water, the filtration is definitely important. It could be 2, I guess.
Okay, water filtration system.
The tent, I think we said that too.
Yeah, tent. I guess the machete or some sort of I don't know exactly what tool specifically, but I think machete might be useful.
Okay, that's 4. Right. Is
And
that
then
4?
someone said something about food,
You said fishing rod, I'm pretty sure.
fishing rod.
So, why didn't you, I'm kind of surprised on why you guys didn't say like an airplane and gas or something as like 2 of your items.
But you can't carry that, can you?
No, it's not. It's not carrying. It's just like any 5 items. What like 5 items do you want?
Yeah, but you wouldn't know how to pilot it, so it would be useless.
Maybe like an instruction manual or something.
You can't just learn how to
Okay.
do it from a book, though.
Yeah, isn't like flying a plane kind of like driving a car?
Yeah, and it's like more dangerous, so I don't think that's like something you would want to do.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, well, I think they're gonna be coming back soon, but that was pretty interesting. I feel like I probably would have picked. I guess I probably would have picked if I wasn't like trying to be like crazy and pick like a time machine. I think I would have probably picked the same things. I think especially the person who said fire. I think that's definitely really important. What were your 5 items? Let's see who's on their call. Akshara, what were your 5 items?
I chose it was fun screen was one of them. Another was like a book to show like information about plants.
Ooh, that's smart.
What another person chose, and someone else said like radios, stuff like that.
A radio, boat, blanket, salt water to water, so the filtration system. For pens. Dang, that's interesting. Okay, does anyone want to share from our side?
Yeah, I can say what we so we said water filtration, we said machete, we said like matchsticks, we said tent, and then I believe the last one was a fishing rod.
Cool. All right. I think that was really interesting. I love how we all picked the water filtration system. So that was kind of cool.
And really quickly, before we do this side, does anyone kind of want to share what they thought? Like, what do you guys think the purpose of this icebreaker was?
We kind of collaborated to like find a solution to the problem.
Right. So yeah, pretty much. It's basically a problem. You had it, and then you had to deal with how to solve it. There was many different options, but you guys kind of worked together to think of whatever solution you guys thought was best.
Okay, so now, does anyone want to share any recent interesting experiences that they've had with problem solving? I know that's super vague, but does anyone have anything specific that they'd like to share?
I had one yesterday. So me and my friends, we were like playing outside football, and then we decided to go get dinner outside as well nearby. And the question was, how are we all gonna pay? Because everyone all bought like different amounts, and like some people wanted this and some people wanted that. So we had to, and some people had like some things that they couldn't eat. So and we spent like 20 and 30 minutes just trying to pick out what we wanted to get.
That's interesting. Wait, so were you guys discussing how to pay or like what to order?
I mean, it was both. It was like, what are we actually going to get, and how we can all pay so it's like fair. Kind of.
Cool. So what did you guys end up choosing?
We just chose we ended up going with just cheese pizza because not some people couldn't eat meat and stuff. So
it's a classic, but that's
yeah. So we just thought that would be the easiest one, and then I think for payment wise, we just all kind of like well we all tipped in as much as we could, and then we're gonna deal like the actual like how it like for example if this is confusing me as well.
Very good. Okay,
but we figured it out.
Yeah. Okay. As long as you figured it out, that's good. That's the whole point. Cool. Okay. Does anybody else want to share any cool recent things that they solved, problems that they solved? I know that's really vague, so I'm gonna go with no. Arjun, do you want to share anything?
I'm also drawing a blank, but
okay. I think we're gonna go ahead and just move forward. I feel bad. I feel like we're just picking on Arjun and his sister today. Sorry about that. Okay. Christian.
Okay, so now we're gonna move on to like the actual problem solving and how you can solve your problems. So the first step is to actually agree on the problem or problems that you need to solve. So you can do this by defining the problem statement clearly, and it shouldn't suggest any other solution. Your team that you work with should also be focusing on the problem, which you can actually have an influence on and control. The highest weightage should be on economic impact. This would inspire the team to put in the best possible effort to fix the problem. And you should focus on a few and pick the most important 1 or 2 max of the problems you can solve. So for example, the officer team has, of course, everyone has multiple problems, but one problem that we had this year was that the back of Ms. Suber's room would always get really messy and disorganized because we would have so many drives going on and members were all trying to get their credits in for SLC. So they're bringing in a lot of items and it's really crowding the room. So we had to work to solve those problems. So first we agreed on this problem to solve. And I think, Pollock, you can continue on the next slide. So we'd also have to perform the root cause analysis. So first you have to ask why 5 times. Then your team should come together and have a brainstorm session. So you can think of how different ways you can solve the problem and which ways would be the most effective and stuff like that. And this would allow the problem solution to become more clear. So a way that we did this was we discussed why was the back of her room so messy. So we can identify that, which is members are all trying to get their credits in. They're bringing in a lot of items and there's stuff in a lot of different places around her room. Then we can ask why. This is because the items were spilling over and toppling on top of each other. And then this is the third why is because there's so many drive items, because there's so many drives going on. And we're in Hostess, so we have a lot of drives going on. So we decided to cut back on the drives and spread them out over the year. And yeah, can you go to the next slide, please?
Okay, so after you figure out what the problem is and, you find out why that problem is occurring, obviously the next step is to brainstorm solutions. So this is one of the harder parts and the part where we run into issues because a lot of team members will have various different solutions and lots of different ideas, and you kind of have to think about the best one. So what we have found that helps the HOSA officer team is giving a specific amount of time. And when you have that kind of crunch time limit, you kind of think very efficiently, very quickly, and our team members tend to think and agree with each other. So for example, in this Ms. Suber's room, that example that we have, we thought of a few solutions. One was coming up with the box idea where we put the drive items and have members put their drive items into boxes. And then another solution that we had was organizing the drives into different rooms, not just Ms. Suber's room. So we thought of a couple of solutions and thought of those as the best ones. And then afterwards, you brainstorm why that problem occurred and then how you can prevent it in the future. So our problem occurred because our members are super engaged, and that's not our issue. So we don't really want to. We want to just be more aware and of how our members are super engaged. So we just kind of think about this problem before it happens next year.
Okay, so now we're going to try and go over some do's and don'ts of problem solving. So the first do is you want to stay positive, because obviously if you keep getting frustrated, you're not going to be able to think clearly and solve the problem. You want to listen to team members, because if you try and take over like everything yourself, you're just not going to it's just going to create more problems because people are going to be angry that you're not listening to them. But if you're able to listen to all your team members, then you guys can work together and try and create a solution like that. And that kind of leads into our next one, which is provide meaningful advice to team members. Because if you're not really contributing, you're not going to really be able to help solve the problem. You're kind of just going to be like listening and not really being able to give your input. And then taking initiative, so making sure you're like actually looking at it and then trying to actually solve the problem, not just like thinking, oh, it doesn't really matter. And then there's a few don'ts. So the first one is placing blame on others. This kind of goes back to staying positive. If you're placing blame on others, you're going to make them feel bad. You're going to make them like angry, and they won't be able to help you. And if you work together, that's obviously going to be the best way to solve it. Don't let your emotions control you, because even if you are frustrated, it's important to think clearly and think to try and solve the problem. And then don't allow others to be the only solvers. You want to make sure you're giving your input, because everyone always has great ideas. It's just you need to voice them so other people know what they are. And obviously the last one is don't give up, because if you give up, then obviously there's no more, like, the problem is just not going to be solved. So yeah.
Okay, so we have one last activity in our workshop today. So those of you who were in the call with Pranav, you guys can join back with him. We'll meet back in here like in 5 minutes. So go ahead and do that.
Let me send the link again.
Is it the same groups?
Yeah, it's the same groups.
Okay, so our prompt today is, what if someone has so we all know what state qualification testing is. What if someone has something else during the day of state qualification testing, like tennis tryouts, or I know that's what we had in the past years, or someone had like dentist appointments. So what happens if you have another previous time commitment on the same date and time of your SQT? How would we work together to solve that? Does anyone want to kind of go through the 4 steps?
Well, Pollock, I have a question. So
yes.
If we're talking about the situation where they have another time commitment, did we say that it was mandatory, or did we say, like you can't go to SLC if you don't show up? Or did we say, let someone know? What did we say?
We are. Wait, what do you mean? Sorry.
Did we say you can contact someone and change it, or did we say you have to show up?
No. So we said, what do you do, basically? What
personal. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
So if you have SQT and you have something else, what steps do you do to come up with,
I guess the first thing you would have to do is identify, obviously why you're missing that day. Whether, again, I guess one, it could be as easy as, okay, I had like the soccer game or whatever, or like tryouts or whatever. But maybe another reason might have been, I didn't see like the Google form that they sent out, that if you're going to miss that day, then you can do this to take another day. So that could be another reason why you're going to be missing that day. So yeah, first, like actually figuring out why you missed it. And then from there, working on, okay, can I like contact someone, or can I reach out to some of the officers or something like that?
Yeah, definitely. Does anyone have anything else to add?
Well, that was our first step. So we identified what the problem was, right? So what would we do next after that? Anyone?
Well, like you said, you could, try to take steps towards solving the problem. So, okay, you've identified that you didn't fill out the Google form that you needed to. So, can you either get someone to fill it out for you, like in post, like an officer or something, or can you move around your appointment or change your schedule somehow to fit everything in?
Okay, definitely. And then what would the next step be?
I think the next step would be to kind of like pick one of the choices. I believe that was the next step. But
I think if we're on our third step, it was coming up with solutions. So yeah.
So we came up with solutions. Okay, so yeah, like Badon said, yeah, so step 3.
Yeah, he said, see if you can reschedule one of your time commitments. And then I think Shivank, you originally brought up reaching out to an officer or an advisor, like or anyone who can, or the dentist appointment people. Okay, does anyone have any other suggestions for solutions? Christian, do you have any other ideas for solutions?
So you can work with your team and come up with an idea. So just continue following the same the 3 steps that we said earlier, and you can come up with a solution like that.
Cool.
I guess like the worst solution would be to just skip your testing if you thought it was worth it, or if you couldn't like reschedule anything in any way.
Yeah, just basically skipping one. That would be the worst comes first, right? Cool. Does anyone from the other call want to share what their solutions were for this? It's probably pretty similar.
Aparna, why don't you share what ours were?
Testing online on the same day and sharing your screen so that everyone can see whether you're cheating or not, or taking the test on another day when SQT testing is still taking place.
Okay, cool. So basically reaching out, I think they reached out to an advisor and checked if they could reschedule their SQT. Cool. Okay, so I think we all came up with pretty similar results. This was a pretty self-explanatory activity, and there were not that many possible solutions. But does anyone have any questions about today's workshop? Anything?
I have a comment really quickly. So in this entire situation, I think that it's also really important to reflect as like your last step on why this problem happened, right? Because you don't want to repeat it. So just kind of keep that in mind. Every time you have a problem, make sure you identify why it happened, which you already should have done, and just say, what can I do next time to make that better?
Yeah, definitely. That was our 4th step. And after, the end of the day, definitely you should do that. So thanks, Rita. Yeah, does anyone have anything else to add? If not, we will be going to the next workshop. So does anyone want to share their screen for the essential skills one? Kirti, Nicole.
Arjun, can you share your screen?
Yeah, I'm just it's like pulling up another tab.
Wait, Arjun, I thought you were recording.
I can do both.
Is it still snowing?
It is a little, but not a lot.
Oh my gosh, I hope it doesn't melt, guys. So does anyone have any questions so far or any comments of what they learned so far from the 2 workshops? Come on, don't make me on you. I don't want to pick out names. That's not fun.
I mean, I guess before I just kind of looked at it like a broadly, I guess, but I guess the workshop's giving kind of some more detailed points that I could think about.
Awesome. That's what we want to hear. So I'm so glad. Okay, let's go on with the next one.